Hello, good morning and welcome. In the first slide, today we are going to see poem number 4, How to Tell Wild Animals, which has been written by Carolyn Wells, an American poet. This humorous poem suggests some dangerous ways to identify wild animals. How we can identify wild animals in the jungle. This poem it is related to this content. The content it is very easy. The language it is very simple one. We can easily understand the meaning of this poem. There are total 6 stanzas in this poem, and the rhyming scheme of the poem is A B A B C C. Let me proceed in the poem. Stanza number 1, in which the poet has described the description about the lion. All the wild animals having different characteristics related to their color, their hunting style, their looking, as well as their shape and many more things. In stanza number 1, the poet said that if ever you should go by chance to jungle in the east, and if there should you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. So in the first stanza, poet has described the description about the Asian lion. So here he said that if you ever go to the jungle in the east, in the eastern part of earth we call it Asia, Asiatic jungles or forest we call it, you may find a brown colored huge animal coming towards you there. And if it starts roaring at you, a large and tawny beast, tawny, brownish we call it, भूरे रंग का, if it starts roaring at you, you will feel as if you are dying. Poet said that as soon as you notice a very large tawny beast in front of you, he starts roaring at you, in front of you we call it, and hearing the roaring of this wild animal, the person will feel that he is going to die. And when the persons realize such a panic, so at that time he will have to understand that there is an Asian lion is standing in front of him. So you will know it is the Asian lion. So we can say that the Asian lion which is found in the eastern part of Asia. So what is the special characteristics of the lion? He having a large body, and the color it is a tawny, and he starts roaring. This is the special characteristics of Asian lion. Before we proceed on the next stanza, let me see the figure of speech which are given in this line. Second last line, the word roar. This word it is related to a sound. So the figure of speech is onomatopoeia. Make underline and write down onomatopoeia. The word, it is related to a sound. Let me proceed on the next stanza. As you see in the picture, and what's the picture? It is related to a Bengal tiger. What is the special characteristics of Bengal tiger? Let me proceed ahead. Or if sometime when roaming around, a noble wild beast greet you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Let me see the words meaning in this stanza. Roaming round. Roaming, we call it wandering. WANDERING. Wandering, not wandering. Then noble. Here we call it royal. Next one, beast, we call it wild animal. Grids, welcome. Stripes, lines. There are so many lines, black lines on the skin, on the body of the tiger. And last one, discern. Discern means recognize or identify, we call it. So here the poet said that if by chance you are roaming around the jungle and an impressive beast encounters you, and whose yellow color skin has black stripes over it, there are a lot of black lines on the body of that wild animal, and he pounds on you to eat you. As soon as you will see this animal, so definitely this animal will jumps on you, because he will try to eat you. Just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you to learn. As soon as this wild animal see you, he will jump on you to kill you, because he wants to eat you. And at that time we can understand that the animal, this wild animal, is none other but the Bengal tiger. And then a simple rule will help you to understand that you are seeing the Bengal tiger. So here the Bengal tiger having a black stripes, lines on the body, and no sooner does he see us, he jumps on us to kill us. This is the special characteristics of the Bengal tiger. Let me see the figure of speech. Line number 2. Noble, wild. Opposite words are used and they are used together. So the figure of speech is oxymoron. Opposite words are used together. When the opposite words are separated, so we call it antithesis. But here it is a oxymoron. One more figure of speech in the same line, greets. Here the tiger has given the human quality of greeting. So It is personification. Write down personification. Next one, it is very very important. Just notice if he eats you. Here the figure of speech is irony, and this is the only one example I do believe that in this textbook the figure of speech is irony. How is it irony? Because one cannot notice anything if he is dead. Poet said that just notice if he eats you. When he has already eaten us, how can we see the tiger? So it is irony. Let me proceed toward the stanza number 3rd. And here it is descriptions about the leopard. The wild animal, it is a leopard. What is the special characteristics of this wild animal? Let me proceed ahead. If strolling forth, strolling, walking casually we call it. Forth, forward. When you are walking leisurely forward in the forest of Asia, which are situated into the eastern part of the earth, and you view means notice, a beast, we call it wild animal, whose hide skin, animal skin we call it, with spots is peppered, covered with. When you are walking casually, and at that time you notice that there are a lot of spots on the skin of the wild animal, or the skin of the wild animal is covered with a lot of spots. As soon as he has leapt on you, here actually the spelling is wrong. The real spelling it is leapt, but the poet had intentionally written this spelling wrong using his poetic license. Poet has also given the license. He has given the right to misspell the spelling, and the intention of using the wrong spelling is simply to create a poetic rhyme. As soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only lap and lap again. This spelling, it is wrong. Actually, the spelling it is leap. Leap means jump. So here the poet said that in stanza number 3, the poet said that if you are strolling, that means walking leisurely in the jungle, and encounters a beast whose skin has spotted all over, and he jumps at you the moment he sees you. As soon as he sees you, definitely he will jump on you, and then you should know the beast is a leopard. If you are start crying in pain on seeing him, it will be of no use. It is quite useless on behalf of you to start crying, because he will not spare you. On the very moment he will jump on you and he will finish you. So he will jump, we call it pounce on you again and again, and he will not stop attacking on you till you are killed. So this leopard, it is a very aggressive wild animal. We see a lot of spots. Just you see here, the word spots it is used, not lines. This is the little bit difference between the Bengal tiger and leopard. Spots are used. Be careful about this one. As concerned as a Bengal tiger, the poet has used the words stripes, but here spots. Let me see the figure of speech. Line number second last and last. The figure of speech, it is onomatopoeia. Again the word roar, it is used, and this word it is related to a sound. Write down onomatopoeia. Next one, negative word it is used, so write down litotes. Negative sentence it is used to convey positive idea. And the very important figure of speech in this line, it is hyperbole. This line indicate hyperbole. Write down. Why is it hyperbole? Because the intensity of pain is exaggerated by saying that the person will roar with pain. Person cannot roar. Leopard can roar. So the intensity of pain it is exaggerated. Therefore it is a hyperbole. And the last line, the word LEP, it is repeated twice. So the figure of speech it is exactly correct, repetition. Let me proceed over the next stanza. Which animal do you see in the picture? Yes, it is bear. And the poet said that in stanza number 4, if when you are walking round, just to see every time the poet has used a different verb. In stanza number 1 he has used go. In stanza number 2 he has used roaming. In stanza number 3 he has used the word strolling, stroll, walking we call it, and here the word walking it is used. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very hard, be sure it is a bear, not bear, bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more crash. So here the poet said that if you are walking, let me see first the word's meaning. Your yard, that means in your ground, or we call it the garden of your home, we call it backyard. Next meaning it is creature, we call it animal. Very hard, hold tightly, it hugs you very hard. And one more caress, one more hug we call it. Here the meaning of caress it is a gentle or loving touch. So in this stanza the poet said that if you are walking in the backyard of your house, and luck by chance you meet a creature there, if he hugs you very hard, it is sure that he is the bear. If you have any doubt about it, maybe you become confused, you are unable to find out what type of wild animal it is. So definitely at that time, he will gives you another loving touch. In short, we call it, the bear will hug you very tightly and tries to harm you. So here the figure of speech in this line, it is, who hugs you? Make an underline below this line. And first one, the word very it is repeated. So we can understand it is repetition. Clear? Then next one, the consonant sound. H, it is repeated twice at the beginning of the words hugs and hard. This figure of speech, alteration. And the last figure of speech in the same line, hyperbole. Because the poet said that, who hugs you very hard. The hugging, it is exaggerated. So, three figures of speech are there in the same line. Here, alteration. Consonant sound B is repeated. Okay, let me proceed toward the next stanza. Stanza number 5. Stanza number 5, in which poet said that, though to distinguish beast of prey, a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. The poet has described two animals in this stanza. One is hyena and the another one is crocodile. Let me see the words meaning first. Beast of prey, that means the animals which hunt other animals for food. Another one, it is novice. This is a new word. We call it an inexperienced person. जो नया नया जॉब में लगता है उसको हम a person who having not good experience. So here we call it an inexperienced person. Next one, nonplus, confused. Person become mentally confused to identify what type of animal it is. So the word nonplus, it is used. And merry means happy. Now let me try to understand what does this stanza said there. For a novice, for an unexperienced person, it is not easy task or job, we call it, to distinguish among wild animals and beasts of prey. He may be easily confused when he sees these two animals, but it will always be quite easy for you to distinguish between a crocodile and a hyena. It is quite very easy to find out hyena and crocodile. Now, what is the difference between these two wild animals? The poet said that hyena always comes smiling happily. This is the specific characteristics of hyena. Whenever he wants to kill its prey, so he marches towards the another beast or towards the person, we call it having a smile on his face. So this is the specific characteristic of hyena. And if they are coming weeping, if the animals are coming weeping, then surely they are crocodiles. Whenever crocodile attacks on its prey, and after killing the other animals at the time of eating, a lot of tears which come out from the eyes of a crocodile, we call it. So it is quite easy. In easy language, the poet has described the difference between the hyena and the crocodile. Now let me see the figure of speech in this last line, last two lines. Antithesis. Why? Because the opposite words marry and weep are used in both these lines. You have to take both the lines together. Only then it is a antithesis. Otherwise the antithesis cannot be possible. Let me proceed toward the last line. The true chameleon, we call it गिरगिट, बार बार अपना रंग बदलता है ये एनिमल, which change its color as per the places. Also he adjusts himself according to the background, and therefore it is quite not easy for a person to find out the chameleon. A lizard sort of thing, he hasn't any ears at all and not a single wings. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. The poet said that in the last stanza. A true chameleon is a small creature like a lizard. Here chameleon means it is a kind of animal which looks like a lizard. छिपकली के जैसा लगता है वो, but it is little bit bigger than the lizard. A true chameleon is a small creature like a lizard. He doesn't have any ears and he doesn't have any wings. So we call it he has neither ears nor wings. If you don't find any other creatures on the branch of the tree, then you have to become sure that there will be a chameleon which looks like a lizard. So here the poet has described the chameleon in a very easy style. Let me see the figure of speech in the last stanza. Metaphor, indirect comparison between chameleon and lizard. So write down metaphor. Next one, wherever the word not it is used, negative words it is used, write down the figure of speech, litotes, in all the three lines. Negative sentence conveys the positive meaning. And the last one, antithesis. The opposite ideas are mentioned. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. Opposite ideas, not opposite words. Opposite ideas are also mentioned. and at that time also the figure of speech, it is antithesis. So in the last stanza we can say that mostly you find chameleon sitting on a tree whenever you see nothing, because chameleon has a very special quality to change himself according to the background. He can change its color, and it is quite not easy for a person to find out the chameleon. This looks like a lizard. And that's it from my side, guys. Write down the questions answer in your classwork copy. See you in the next video with another poem.